Good evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Yo, 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 welcome to Talking Dirty with your boy. Me? Okay. So, it's more like riding Talking Dirty with your boy. Coming off day after Hoopsteria, UCLA takes the win over Xavier. Really good game for UCLA, total game for UCLA. They were held to 10 points under their season average and still managed to show some defense that they've not shown all season, or at least not consistently all season, which speaks strong for them. They came ready to play no matter what was on the table, and that was impressive. Everybody's talking about what it means for UCLA, what it means for the program going forward. I want to talk about Xavier still, just because of the place they have in my heart. I know people are talking about the coach leaving, maybe going to a bigger program, and in SimWorld U, when you say bigger program, you're talking about an institution that has more students. Not necessarily more money, not necessarily more whatever, but usually it's talking about a program that has more students and a larger recruiting base. Give or take with that what you want to do. Do I think Sean Miller will succeed wherever he goes? Absolutely. You know that 100%. Do I think he should go? That's his business, because B. Ron talked me down. B. Aloysius, Octavius, Orenthal, Gerard, Ron, third, the fourth, the fifth, half, and the sixth, seventh. Talked me down this morning on SimWorld Today. Go check it out. We live in a world now where people move. They move for a better job, and sometimes a better job just means more money. And that's okay. Maestro needs to grow up. Get over that. That's what it's going to be. So it's not so much about legacy anymore. It's about personal gain and what you get out of it. We see that happening in the SWBA with players moving around, chasing a ring or chasing a bigger contract. We see that with players with VIL kicking in, doing the same thing on the SimWorld U level. Hey, that's the reality of it. Maestro just needs to just grow up and put down his binky and be cool with it, because that's just the deal, and that's all right. I'll get over it. Selfishly, and again, I'm going to say selfishly, would I like him to stay? Absolutely, because I like to see him bring that title to Xavier. Do I think they can do it? Well, they improved every season in Hoopsteria, including getting to the finals in season 3. So there's something to be said for that, but does it really mean anything? We'll find out. The one thing I'm really worried about with Xavier is they have no big recruits coming in. They have 5 seniors going. They only have 1 freshman on the team who I really like, Castaneda, who's very impressive. But they have no as of now, they have no big time recruits coming in, and I think that's going to hurt them in terms of reloading for their culture. It's kind of hard to build a program if you don't have anybody coming in. You know, that fresh blood to add to what you're doing already is very important. We'll see what Xavier does about that. On the other side, I'll say this. Xavier is a prime stop if I am a natural scorer. If I can score the ball, as they say, or if I can put the bucket in the biscuit, I would want to go to Xavier. Why? The defensive culture is already there, and I think that score was the one thing that separated them from being able to get that national title this year. I think if they could have scored on any level the way they've scored before, in terms of taking advantage of those turnovers and possessions that they were able to take away from UCLA, I think the outcome would have been very different. But, shoulda, coulda, woulda, doesn't matter, right? I'm with you. But I think that shift also has something to do with what we're going to start seeing across the table as we see all 3 of the SimWorld leagues now beginning to interconnect between SWBA, SimWorld U, and SimWorld Prep. You know, SimWorld Prep is where your boy's heart is, and we're going to talk more about that on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game, be the game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back.
And welcome back to Riding and Talking Dirty with your boy. So, a couple of the top SimWorld Prep coaches are going up to SimWorld U. They're talking some of the SimWorld U coaches going to the SWBA. What does that mean for our overall development opportunities? I want to talk about that real quick. You guys know how I felt about it. You guys can go back and rewound some of my dirty shorts. You can rewound some of my talking dirties in terms of how I talked about that before. But I have a new take on it now, and I'm going to tell you why. I think it's going to speak well for the international teams, because most of the coaches for like Latin America, for Oceania, for Africa, for Europe are sorry, sneeze the truth, and I'm going to give that sneeze a well done. Use my whole gut with that one, Holmes. Experienced. Those international coaches with their experience in SimWorld Prep, not saying that they're going to be, that some of the teams that are still looking for coaches are not going to get an experienced coach. But with the top, with a certain level or degree of SimWorld Prep coaches moving up to SimWorld U, or even higher, depending, that's going to give our international teams, I think, another advantage. The fact that the international teams are not necessarily getting the top recruits all the time, the fact that our international teams, and you know how I feel about a team like Africa and a team like Europe, right? I've said it, nothing has changed about that. But I think this gives them more opportunity to be competitive because of the balance that we're going to start seeing between just with the coaching experience. Why? I can have a super talented team, but if I have a young coach who's still learning the process, still learning the game, still trying to find their voice in the art of coaching, guess what? I might not necessarily be in the best position to win. It's not always about talent. We're seeing that across the table now. A lot of teams that had a lot of great talent end up going home early in Hoopsteria. A lot of teams with a lot of great talent end up going home early in the prep playoffs as well. So what does that mean? That means this, fam. Look for next year's SimWorld Prep season, how it will be organized and how it will be put together to be one of the most competitive seasons in SimWorld Prep history. Yes, I said it, and I'll say it again. Let me say it with some bass in my voice. The most competitive prep season ever. We will not see a team that is super dominant. We also will not see a team that's been super dominated. We're going to see a bunch of fair to middling records with one or two teams with better records and one or two teams with not so good records, but nobody's going to be 0-100 and nobody's going to be 100-0. All right? Mark it down. Maestro said it. Tell me what you think. Holler at your boy. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me how you think about it. Tell me how you want to think about it. Tell me how you want to talk about it. Let's do what we got to do, guys. Hoopsteria is over. Off season's kicking in now. We know we're going to kick up some more work with Ask Maestro. You know, you got all the other pods coming up, talking about stuff, reliving the season, talking about top players and things like that. A lot of changes coming to SimWorld, boo. That's what's up. We got some new people in charge in different places and in different divisions of SimWorld for the upcoming season. Because why? We's ready. They not like us. Know what I mean? So here we go. You know the deal. Holla at your boy and never let Jason Bourne borrow your car.
Like I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.